Here now is we're going to do the steps first. We'll write out some steps, okay? So, steps in solving these linear inequalities, okay? Solving linear inequalities. And the key here is with one variable. One variable. Okay? Because we add to this next year when we do polynomial inequalities and stuff like that. So the first step, what we want to do is we want to solve each inequality for the variable. So solve for the variable is what we'll put here. Solve for the variable. Okay? Step 2. Once we had that, John, once we solved in that last example for x, what did we do? Anybody? Yeah. Place number on the number line. 3. After we put that 3 down, Cassandra, what did we do? What did we do after we put the 3 down on the number line? Before that, right before that. Yeah, okay, I'm going to put something down here. We haven't done one yet, but we're going to say choose the type of circle. Okay? Choose the type of circle. Because it's either going to be an open circle like our last one or a closed circle. The last one was open. Yeah, it was. If you look at it, it was just open. It was all just around 3, right? The next one, it might be closed, which means it's colored in. Like I guess maybe a shaded in. We'll talk about that. And then 4, draw the arrows. Arrow to show solution. Okay? And there's a whole nother stage to writing solutions. There's different ways we can write this stuff, but we won't get into that this time. Okay, let's do another example here. Oh, hold on. Write it down. Everybody got everything? I'm not worried. Cringy there. He's gonna take a while here. Tell me you're on number 4 at least, Cringy. Good man. Okay, so the next example I'm going to show you is going to have a bunch of tricks in it. Okay, so that we can kind of knock all the tricks out of the way and then everything seems easy. Okay, Cringy's got her. Here we go. I'll go to green. Well, we aren't going to green. Video will go to green. Example. Let's go negative 5y plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 6 plus 4y. Let's try that one. Okay, so let's look at our steps. Okay, because when we leave here, if we haven't done any of these, we want to make sure we know how. Okay, so which one? The 4. Let's move the 4. I'm okay with that. I like having my variables on the left-hand side. I always do. So I'm going to minus the 4y from the right-hand side over to the left-hand side, and it's going to cancel that out. Now, remember in your head, hey, we can minus and add all we want across an inequality sign. Hear me on that. If we are adding and subtracting across an inequality sign, we can do it all we want. Listen. So negative 5y minus 4y is negative 9y plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 6 because our 4y's cancel. Okay? Let's keep going now. What do I got to get rid of here? Yeah, take those out, Taylor, please. So how am I going to get rid of this? I'm going to subtract it, and we're allowed to subtract and add and all that kind of junk all we want across an inequality sign. I'm going to keep emphasizing that because something's going to happen here real quick. -6 minus 3 is -9. Now, how do I get rid of that -9 with the y? Okay, now did I say anything about being allowed to divide and multiply across anytime you want? Okay, here's why. If we're dividing by a negative across an inequality or multiplying by a negative, what's the key word there, Allie? Somebody help her out. Negative. Okay? If I'm multiplying or dividing by a negative, I have to just flip the inequality. So put a star and say, when multiplying or dividing across inequalities, sign, you must flip it. And I'll show you why. Okay, I'll show you why. Because really we don't have to divide it across. We can, add the 9y's over and flip sides and it'll just say the other thing. So, but we'll divide this. So I'm in blue. Maybe I'll switch back to green to show this. I'm going to divide by a -9 on both sides, because that's what we know cancels this out. But I'm dividing by a negative. Doesn't matter what the number is. I'm dividing by a negative across an inequality, Ryan. So I'm left with y. What should I put for my sign now? What? Less than or equal to. It says greater than. I just have to flip it. That's all I have to do. I'll show you. Equals what? So y is less than or equal to. I'll show you real quick, okay? But we got to get through this part first. So we've solved. So the only time we ever have to worry about it is if we're multiplying or dividing across by a negative. Everybody's fair on that? Okay. So we've done that. I want to plot my number line. I put 1. There's my 1. See it there? Now, the last question, if we look back at it, said less than 3, right? X was less than 3. And we chose just an open circle. This one doesn't say just less than. This says what? Less than or equal to. So I'm not just around that 1. Can I equal 1? So I'm going to equal 1. So you put it right on that 1. You're not just close to 1 and around it. You're all over it. Okay? You're all over that 1. So you want to show me that you're right on it, okay? Now, of course, less than, which way do I go? Yeah, all the numbers to the left of this guy are in there. That's right. Yeah, like 2, 3, 4 are to the right, right? Which part? Well, does this show me that you're right on 1? That it equals 1, Megan? Or if I go like this, and I put 1 here, that there, am I on 1? No, I'm close to it. I haven't touched the 1 yet. This is touching the 1 right there. That's right. I'm saying it can equal 1. This says I'm close to it, but I'm just around it. That's kind of what I'm saying to you. Okay, you can think of it like that. I'm around 1, but I can't equal 1. Because it's less than 3. It's not equal to 3, right, Megan? Okay. Here. If I put this one back up here, Megan, for you, and I put 3 there, because I drew the round circle, I'm not touching 3. 3 is right in the middle, right? I went around it. I'm not equal to 3, am I? Because if I'm equal to 3, I'm going to put the dot right on 1. Or right on 3. Okay? And we didn't. We went around it. So I'm saying I'm close to 3, but I can't equal it. I'm actually right. Yes, less than or equal to. Good. I'm going to right now. Okay, so I'm going to explain to you why we want to flip that sign. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite rewrite this part of it right here. I don't want to use green. Blue. So why do we have to flip the sign when we divide or multiply by a negative? Well, remember, does it matter what side our variable is on? No, not at all. Okay, but we don't like negative numbers, correct? Or negative values. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make everything positive, but without dividing by a negative. I'm going to add this negative 9y over to the right-hand side. And that's going to cancel there. So now this question says 0 is greater than or equal to negative 9 plus 9y. Okay? This is why we take that shortcut of dividing by something across an inequality and just realizing, oh, we just flip it. Now, I'm going to add this 9 across the other way. Add the 9, cancels here and here. Now I'm left with 9 greater than or equal to 9y. Okay? I'm just showing you, Cassandra, why when we divide or multiply by a negative, we flip that sign without dividing or multiplying by a negative. I'm showing you why that's a rule. Okay? Now, how would I get y by itself? Am I allowed to divide by positives all I want? Yeah, and it doesn't change anything. So I'm going to divide this positive 9 out of here. It's going to cancel there. And I'm going to be left with 1 is greater than or equal to y. Now, I didn't have to flip it because am I dividing by a negative, Taylor? If I'm dividing by a negative, yes. Only by negative. Read your notes. It says right there, when you multiply or divide by negative. But, yeah, by a negative, right? So now listen, if you look at the up in your example, and we read it, we had flipped it, and it said y is less than or equal to 1, right? If I read from the variable, read from the variable on this one. It says y is less than 1 if I read from the variable over. Less than or equal to. And what was our answer when we used our y is less than or equal to 1? So it's the same way. But rather than go through all this junky work, right? Cade, what are you going to remember? When you divide or multiply by a negative, flip the sign. We'll do another one of these, or 4 of these, or whatever. Okay? Do you see that, Dina? I'm showing you why so why we divide by a negative, why we would flip the sign. Because you don't want to have to go through this junk. Yeah, by a negative. Yeah. Marlies? Because this isn't negative 9y right here. It's negative 9 plus 9y's, right? Okay, so we'll do another example. I'm just going to stop this one.